Hi everybody, I am here today with my Graphic 45 Flutter mini album. Now there is already a flip through video of this mini album, so we're not going to go through that today, but what I am going to go through is to talk about the tutorial that will be available as well as the kit that I have created. Right now I have one kit still available, but I do have a couple more that are going to be coming with my next shipment of Graphic 45 papers. So once that final kit sells, I will then relist it as a pre-order with the expected shipping date, I believe the first week in August. Hopefully will be when I can get the next set of kits out. So that will be linked in the description box if you want the pre-cut kit. Now, if you have already purchased your Graphic 45 Keepsake Edition papers, but you want to make the album, I have the option of a tutorial for you, and I'm going to show you what's in the tutorial. It's the same thing as the kit, you just will have to cut your own papers, and you'll also have to purchase the cover. So this is the cover for the album. The white butterflies here are these butterflies here on the front. I just took my alcohol markers and I colored those. You could also use inks, or you could leave them plain if you would want them plain. You can also get them in black. So the cover comes in black for the kit, but if you purchase it on your own, you can select black or white, and then you'll select your butterfly color as well. The kit comes in 5 pieces. So these are the 2 outside spines. The inside is white. Then this is the butterfly spine. So this is where these pieces lay on top of, and they're the exact same size. So it's easy to line those up. And then we've got our front and back covers. It does not come with any type of cardstock or book binding cloth to bind your album together, so you will have to bind it yourself, but it's pretty easy to do. Now the kit will come with everything you need if you purchase the kit. This tutorial is a PDF tutorial, so it's all digital files, nothing physical will be mailed to you. You can print these if you prefer to have paper copies, or you can use them on your device, obviously. You'll have 3 separate documents that come in the tutorial. The first is an assembly guide here, so it goes step by step through how to assemble the album. I'll come back to this one in just a minute. Then these other 2, they are the cutting guides. So you've got your cutting guide with the pieces labeled for your base as well as your Graphic 45 papers here, and then you've also got page maps that make it easy to cut your papers. So in the Graphic 45 papers here, if you haven't noticed before, Graphic 45 has names on their paper. So each paper has a different name, except for the patterns and solids typically don't have a name on them. So I just will label them different styles of patterns and solids. So this one is just blue, green, black, or pink, because there are only one style for each color, so that made it easy. So you'll use the color or the name on the paper with these 2 guides here. So for example, for Flutter, for page 1, so we've got the first sheet of Flutter, we've got these 6 pieces here that you'll be cutting, and then the measurements are listed here, and then it tells you exactly where this piece is going to go in the album. Now that makes it really easy for you to cut. And what I have done to make it even easier is you can start cutting these. So you can cut this one straight across here, because all of these pieces are 8 1/8. And then you'd cut these 3 pieces individually. Down here, same thing. You would cut this section here, and then you cut these apart, and then you would cut this here and cut those 2. Now some of them, this one is a great example. These pieces don't all line up. So what I do when I cut for my kits, I cut this line here first. So piece 6, this is 6 inches. So I cut this whole piece to 6 inches. Then I cut these 2 pieces down to size after. Then I have this piece here, and I cut these pieces as well. So this is 4.5 inches by 6 inches. So I would cut this at 4.5 inches. And then I would cut this, and then these pieces, so piece number 3 is 7 inches, so I cut this whole piece at 7 inches, and then I would cut these pieces off and cut this down. So it makes it easy to just go ahead and cut these and it's pretty quick when you follow these page maps. So I just printed the first 2 pages of this guide, but there's an 11-page guide for every single page except for the border sheet. Now the border sheet is listed on here. So I have the actual type, so you know, the Flutter card and where it goes, the Bloom and Grow card and where it goes. If you have like a border strip here, Live Life in Full Bloom border cut to 6.5 inches, that's for the cover, and then 1 piece to 5 inches for page 3. So everything is listed out for you. Now the nice thing about this is it starts here with the cardstock pages that you need to build. It gives you the exact dimensions as well as the score lines and where to score. And then it's got all of the papers, and then it's got the extras, the ribbon, the magnets, the brads, and chipboard. So between this and this, you can cut all of your papers that you need for the base of the album as well as the decorative papers. Now, if you have followed one of my newer tutorials that has these page maps, I'd love to hear what you think. I designed these to make it easier for people to cut their papers because I've had some people say that they've run out of paper because they don't cut their papers the same way I do. So they might cut completely through a sheet. Like if they were cutting this, they cut completely through a sheet and then they wouldn't have enough for these 4 pieces because they've already cut this part. So this shows you exactly how I have cut my papers so you can recreate the album exactly as I have done. Once you have all of your pieces cut, this is where the assembly guide comes in. So this is assuming that you are using my chipboard cover. If you're not using my cover, you will have to substitute with chipboard and you'll have to wrap it or do whatever you want with your chipboard to get your cover first. And then you just have step by step where to adhere the pieces and how to apply the different things to the base of the pages. And then we get into here where we've got a picture of the actual, this is the cover. So we've got the cover completely decorated and it's got all the stuff here to show you where to put the ephemera pieces, and it shows you step by step, or it tells you step by step what to do. There are not pictures for every single step like some of my other tutorials, the longer tutorials, but this guide with all this stuff should hopefully make it easier for you to create the album. Now for this tutorial, in addition to these written PDFs, I will be releasing a YouTube video. It's one video showing you how to make all of those interactive elements on the pages. So the slides and the pop-ups, I realize, are probably a little bit more challenging coming from a written tutorial if you've never done them before. So I did create a video. It will be released at the same time as this video is here, so you can watch that, but you will need to have the tutorial to be able to recreate it because I do not give sizes in that. It's not a tutorial for anybody to use. It is a tutorial designed for people to follow who have purchased my mini album kit or have purchased my tutorial to be able to follow. Well, this is it for the Graphic 45 Flutter tutorial. So that will be linked in the description box below. This cover will be linked in the description box below if you want to purchase it. And if you want to purchase that pre-cut kit while they're still available, I will link that in the description box below as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.